Hey everybody, Neil Bednar here, Port Arthur, Texas, and I wanted to put this little video together to tell you about a fantastic wake-up call that I just enjoyed through My Lead System Pro, and it was put on, or rather, I guess the topic and speaker was Norbert Orlowitz, and the topic was basically managing yourself in time. You know, we all tend to get overwhelmed and try to cram so much stuff into one day and get done as much as we possibly can, and we're constantly making to-do lists and trying to squeeze every minute out of every hour. And what he shared with us this morning, and what really touched base with me, was that we all have the same amount of time, and it's silly to think that you can get done more than anybody else, or more than I guess what the point was is that we have unrealistic expectations sometimes of what we can get accomplished, and one of the biggest productivity killers is just being in a bad mood, being in a negative mindset, not having your head in the right place to really be productive. And it's a terrible killer of your time when as your productivity decreases. Well, then it just seems like time tends to drag on, and you can't get enough done. So what he shared with us, and the things that are, especially this one line that really struck a chord with me, was that when you're trying to manage your time, and when you're trying to get the most out of your time, you don't really get more time. What you're really left with is reality is not meeting your expectations. And I guess the whole point was that sometimes you're in a good mood, or you're doing something you enjoy, and you realize that you've been doing it for 2 to 3 hours straight, and time just seems to fly by. Or on the flip side, maybe you're standing in line waiting at the DMV, I think is the example he used, or paying your taxes, and time just seems to crawl by. Well, that it's really how you feel about the time. It's really your emotions. Time is ticked away at the same rate. Time doesn't speed up or slow down for anybody. So it's how you feel about that time. So when I mentioned being in a bad mood, or being depressed, things like that, and how it kills your time, it's really how you feel about that time. And that reality not meeting your expectations, it's as you perceive that time and how you feel during your time. So he gave us a great tip on using physical using your physical state to change your emotions rather than your mental state. Because when you're in a bad mood, or you're depressed, sometimes affirmations just aren't going to get it. You can't just tell yourself that I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be happy, and change your emotional state. For sometimes it might work if if you're not really down in the dumps, and sometimes it might work rather quickly. Sometimes it may take a long time. But what he suggested was actually using your physical your physical state to change your emotions, excuse me, rather than your mental state. And his suggestion was to find the triggers that tend to make you happy, the things that you do that you tend to do when you're happy. A great example, of course, was smiling. No matter what, when you smile, it's hard to stay in a bad mood. Another thing he made a good point was, if you find yourself in a bad mood, or in a bad mental state, try just getting out, going for a walk, doing something different than you normally do when you're in that bad mindset. So he mentioned that often he'll get up and he'll go for a walk, a quick 5-minute walk outdoors. He really enjoys the outdoors. He tends to do yoga. He has I believe it was some mantras that he recites to himself, things that he does that keeps him that can change his emotional state by altering his physical state. So it was just a really great tip, I thought, and it's something that really struck home with me. I've dealt with a lot of depression recently. I've had a lot of things going on in my life that just don't exactly jive with a positive attitude, and it's hard to bounce back. So I just thought it was a great tip, using your physical state to change your emotional state, and that really helps to in the way that you perceive time. The best thing is to get the most out of your time and enjoy your time. And if you're depressed or if you're in a bad mood, nobody enjoys that, and people won't enjoy being around you. So I just wanted to throw that together. Again, it was a fantastic wake up call. You can catch these wake up calls at MLSP. I can leave a link down here below this video. I strongly encourage it, and I hope you have a fantastic day. God bless.